Fast and Furious 9 really made, bro. That shit made me believe because I text y'all. I said they can beat the Avengers. Like
They can beat them with the power
like,
of family. They can beat
They
them in
could.
cars.
They could, bro. They could.
They could.
There's no doubt in my mind.
They
There's
throwing
not
cars into people, bro.
like-
I was like, yeah, Captain America don't
Hey,
got
John
nothing.
used
If I-
cars.
like,
like,
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Brocialist here on episode 10. Thank you for coming back. How's everyone doing? Dabs, tell you how you guys doing?
straight, man, straight. Wish
Holding up,
the summer
holding up,
would
man.
hurry up or something. It's cold outside.
Yeah, bro. Word to one of our friends, John. When the leaves gonna start growing? When the leaves gonna start growing in Michigan? Because it's looking a little bit depressing out here. But other than that, I'm holding up.
At least
man.
it's not dark at 5.
Bro, what? That's
true.
that's the one positive that I guess losing the hour is like, I guess everything is at its right time. But yeah, man, it's depressing, bro, because you don't know when it's gonna be cold, where it's gonna the snow, especially in Michigan. I mean, like it gets snow in May, so I'm holding up though. I'm holding up.
At least they're about to get rid of, or we're going to stay in daylight savings like in 2013.
Yeah.
Like they're going to be done with it. I think we're going to go back
It's
one more time and then
2023.
go forward and we're going to be done. Like,
So we won't be getting the hour back anymore.
How does that work?
yeah, so we won't be changing our clocks at all. So I think we're going to go back in the fall and gain an hour, and then we'll go forward one more time, and then we'll be done.
Dang.
I'm pretty sure.
I miss having that hour. Even though it did get dark fast, I miss having that hour. But just for sleep wise, but I mean, I guess we ain't. And once it get into like play, I guess we not really gonna notice. But yeah, it'll be interesting.
Question. I was on Reddit the other day browsing. I go on Reddit a lot. And let's say you wake up one morning and you realize that time is frozen. And you know that it'd be frozen for 24 hours for everyone else but you. What are you doing like in that 24-hour time period?
Robbing a bank.
Robbing a bank. Yep, that's the first thing I'm doing is robbing a bank.
robbing people.
Robbing, not people. I'm robbing. I'm robbing infrastructures, banks. I'm going to all of that. I'm trying to in 24 hours. I'm getting it all.
I'm getting everything I could possibly imagine.
I'm trying to think of how I can make as much money as possible in such a small amount of time. Because you have to think, like, banks don't have like millions and millions on hand. So you need to be efficient because most banks you won't even be able to get into if time froze. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like, how can you efficiently think about like robbing without like having to go pickpocket a million people within that 24-hour period?
Bro, I'm looking it up on. I'm looking up on the internet. Something, bro. I am robbing a bank. I'm doing something to get rich. That's what I'm gonna do. So if it's not robbing a bank or whatever, I'm looking at ways to when everybody wakes up,
like
I'm rich.
I feel like you need to do something like you need to do something with the stock market. Like you short a big company and then you like demolish their you like manipulate something in that 24 hours that would cause their stock to like rise or fall and you bet on it the other way. Like I remember in GTA 5 you used to be able to do that. You could buy like the jet companies, so you could buy like Delta stock, like Delta or Spirit airline stock, and then you could go to the airport and blow up all the other airlines, and then like the stock would rise, like in the company that you bought. Like you'd have to do some shit like that. Like that'd be the most efficient use of your time.
Yeah, bro. It would.
I think you just go to every restaurant. I would just go to every I would go to every store and just take all the money from it in 24 hours. I would drive.
Like you talking about the bank?
That's what I would probably do.
But the thing is, you'd like waste so much time like trying to find the key to like do it and if you like have to do like the time you're spending driving, even if there's no red lights and stuff like that, like the amount of time you're gonna have to find the person with the key to like the safe and all that type of stuff. It's so funny though because on Reddit there's some people that take it seriously.
I'm going there. I'm going there. Wherever the biggest bank in Michigan, I'm going there, cracking the safe.
It's no way you can get into that bank though. It's no
Yeah,
way.
like the vault's probably locked.
We finding a way.
But you have to go to Tay gonna go to the armory and go get like C4 or something like that. Blow the bank open.
Like, all right, I know.
Blow the bank open.
I know just how to get in here. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but
it is so funny though because people on Reddit will not take it seriously at all, and they're like, "Yeah, I'd probably like spend the next 24 hours like just being a menace, like an absolute menace," and then like,
why would you do that though?
I'd probably like take like 100 people and like work to like put them like in their front yard and like doing like insane shit, and then he said like those 100 people will all have this like strange experience that none of them will be able to explain, and then just be like seen as insane through the rest of society and stuff like that.
Right, bro,
like people like are so deranged.
Right, bro. For me, I had to do something with money, bro.
The first thing we thought about was money.
Yeah, that's money.
I'm freeing Willie. I'm gonna go free Willie. Tillicum.
All right, he gonna eat you. You seen that the whale video? Seen that whale video? Hey, killer man.
Bro, that whale video was crazy.
Hey, killer whales ain't no.
I will tell you right now, bro. Free Willy blinded me so bad, bro. Look, I was scared. Look, bro, I was scared of deep blue sea. As a kid, I should have been scared of Free Willy because the killer whales be killing the great whites. they be messing them up. I should have been scared of Free Willy, bro.
They are menaces,
bro.
Bro, when I saw that whale, when I saw him throw that ball, that whale hit that seal with its tail and sent him like 30 feet into the air, bro. I was like, bro, no way.
What's playing?
Bro, they're so intelligent. That's the crazy part.
The dude said it's so calm too. He was just like, sometimes they toss seals in the air just to paralyze them or loosen their skin. I'm like, huh? What? And they thinking this through, like them and dolphins be like conspiring to get with each other, like to do this menacing stuff, bro. I'm like, ain't no dolphins was cut too.
The speedboat, wasn't it? Yeah, dolphins cut too. But the speedboat, like they was behind that speedboat. Like, first of all, you like mentally can't comprehend how the fuck they moving that fast. Because what are they doing? Like moving their tail? Like how are they moving that fast?
It's gotta be the tail, bro. It's gotta be the tail.
Know how? Bro,
I mean, it was probably it probably seems faster, like because if you go fast on a boat, like even if you go like 25-30 on a boat, it seems much faster than going 25-30 in a car.
Yeah,
but I mean, even that, like 25-30 miles an hour is really fast, just sustain that speed over like a long distance.
I think
I mean, they're just one big muscle.
Yeah, I think a swordfish is like the fastest fish, and I think go up to like 70 in the water. So I mean, like they probably was going about 20-30. So, but yeah,
35 miles per hour is the fastest they go.
Yeah, that video.
That's wild. I mean, think about how fast you can swim compared to how fast you run, and obviously, like humans aren't water dynamic, not aerodynamic. I don't know what you would call it, but like the limitations in speed when you get into water, and they just plowing through.
Bro, that video. That video was haunting. He was just like, like, what's up, y'all? I'm here. Just like, hey.
They said they like the wake, like the waves that they make.
Yeah, because they make
that's
waves.
Why they was doing it.
Yeah, so they probably was just playing. Just like, the humans here, y'all. Yeah, bro. That whole, like, seeing that video, bro, and I was just like, man, if animals just had, like, I mean, they smart, but if they just had like a little bit of human capacity, we would be screwed. Like,
if they had thumbs, we would be
screwed. It would not be funny, bro.
That one Twitter thread where it's like, animals can understand us. You seen that too?
With the dogs? I seen the one with the dogs
and shit.
Yeah, I seen the one with the dogs. Yeah, they was like, yeah. So dogs be knowing, bro. They be knowing too. They be knowing. You gotta give animals more credit though. People be thinking that they stupid. They know. They know. They know.
For sure know. Buddy was opening the door outside to the back door. Just keep opening and opening. She was like, "Don't fucking come through that door no more." He looked.
Just
close the door, bro.
He closed the door like a little bad kid that said, "Go." That when your mom said, "Go to your room," just like he was like, put his head down and ain't open the door again. Yeah, the animals gotta give them a lot more credit than what people give them. They not stupid.
Yeah, it's so funny. Like when I catch Miles doing something that he's not, because he digs a lot, and we always catch him digging. And I'll catch him, and I'll say something to him, and he just knows. Like he was having fun while he was doing it, but then I just like raise my voice a little, and then he like frowns, and then he knows that he has to go to timeout. So I say, "Come on in," and he just goes straight to his little kennel and like goes straight to timeout. It's like it is dead ass a child.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they know. They know better.
crazy.
Well, speaking of animals, tangentially, animals are within the environments. And Friday, April 22nd, coming up, so we're a little early, is Earth Day. And I know a lot of people like, I feel like Earth Day, I feel like it should be a bigger thing. Like, we get days off for President's Day and things like that. But, I mean, obviously, it's been a bigger topic lately and how important, obviously, the environment is. But people, we need to start doing stuff on Earth Day. Do a little like get together, pick up some trash, or like raise your awareness or something. So we've come together
We
today.
ride that.
Brought maybe some feel good pieces and things like that to just discuss some of the good things going on Earth and why we need to save our planet. Because not only hey, I think a lot of people have like short sighted viewpoints on this, like, well, I'm not going to be here, but like even if like obviously even if you aren't going to have kids, like a lot of people's friends will have kids, your family will have kids, and if I think we can do a lot to prevent people having poor life conditions without much sacrifice ourselves. I think that's the big thing, is we aren't giving anything up to uh I guess take care of the planet. We just don't dump oil into the ocean and shit like that.
Amen.
Yeah, I feel like Earth Day in general should be. It's just crazy because it's like how selfish we are, like on a day to day basis. Like human beings in general are selfish. How our societies works are selfish. So it's kind of like I'm not surprised about the Earth in general not being celebrated as much as it is, just because we do a lot of stuff out of ignorance. But yeah, I feel like Earth Day should be a little bit more talked about, a little bit more seen as not a holiday, but something that's a little bit more important. Just because it's where we live, the air we breathe, and all that stuff. So
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I feel like it's just something that we take for granted because like we're on like Earth and like it's just. I mean, obviously, it's a been a part of our everyone's lives. So it's just something that we take for granted. But like when you hear about like what scientists are saying about if we don't make certain changes, how like we have rising sea levels, and the rising sea levels, they turn into flooding, worse flooding for certain areas in the world, worse hurricanes, just weather conditions where we are living. It's alarming, and I just like you both have said, more emphasis needs to be put on Earth Day and beyond that too. Because I mean, like it's cool to get together for a day and celebrate the Earth, but I think just now more than anything, like it seems like we're entering that stage where like if we don't make a change now, then it'll never be made and it'll be too late. So. I definitely think more importance needs to be made in regards to the celebration of Earth Day, and beyond. So I totally, I think we're all on the same page there.
Yeah, I started like a month or two ago. I bought season 1 of Captain Planet on Amazon because I wanted to watch it. Um just for like the nostalgia value, and then I also ended up getting a Captain Planet tattoo, obviously. Uh
Oh yeah,
I also didn't know that Tom Cruise was the voice actor for Captain Planet when that came
for real,
out. So yeah,
bro.
he
that's
was
I'm
the
gonna
cool.
voice
say
actor for like
this.
the first like 4 or 5
I'm gonna
episodes.
say this, bro. When I was like little, I don't know why I thought like Captain Planet was like part of like Marvel. Like I thought he was like a superhero. I for real thought he was like a superhero. I mean, I mean, in a way, like yeah, but I thought he was like a part of like the Marvel universe and
Mm.
everything.
They should bring him back as like an anime. That would be hard. I mean, you can
Well,
make
he's fighting
anything
like
cold in the
pollution and stuff. I
anime.
mean, yeah,
Like,
you can't make
really,
anything cold in anime.
that's what he was doing
Yeah.
essentially.
It's been a while since
It was really
seen it.
gimmicky, but it was. I mean, it was really like it was obviously a kid show, but
I mean, you can put
you
anything in
get
an
a
anime
good,
format, it's going to be good
yeah,
for the most part. I mean, other than live action, don't do a don't do live action, live action like that. They always try to depict anime into a live act. Like, no, don't do that. But yeah,
yeah. It's funny though. I mean, it's crazy how obviously the younger generation cares a lot more about the environment,
the kids gonna be
even
all
if I
right.
include hindsight, because there's a lot of old people that now know, even though they might have denied it and just don't care. Whereas it's like, okay, maybe you didn't know and you didn't believe it, but now it's like in hindsight, you can revise your opinion. So like we obviously have like a lot of like young people getting into like environmental policy wasn't a super big thing like not long ago. Obviously, like Al Gore could have like changed the trajectory of our country, even though he might have been deemed like kind of crazy person, but he was kind of right, to be honest. And we'd be in a different spot. So I won't keep harping. We'll get into some of these, just a little bit of feel good and some people that are doing good for the environment. And I'll start us off. So I found this article from the Washington Post about renewable energy in the U.S. and how it's nearly quadrupled in the past decade. Now, this is from 2011 to 2021, and that's not saying much at quadrupling. It doesn't mean it's enough. We aren't even close to being energy dependent. Obviously, that's why we need things like build like I for obviously I don't like Biden, but things like Build Back Better and infrastructure bills to move us towards renewables and things like that are a good first step, because we aren't gonna just one day wake up and have everyone, using solar and wind power driving electric and hydrogen cars around. So making those incremental steps to that are obviously very important. So from 2011 to now, this article came out in November 2021. Solar grew 23 times in that 10-year period, and wind grew 3 times, which was at a higher percentage than solar. There's actually 3 states that produce half of their energy through electric between wind and solar, being Iowa, North Dakota, and Kansas. Obviously, very flat and windy states, so you can capture a lot of sun and a lot of wind. So I don't know, just being resourceful and passing a lot of policy. Like California's been spreading a lot of policy and has probably captured the most amount of renewable energy in an absolute number, maybe not per capita because there's so many people in California. Um, and just in addition to that, the U.S. is still only like 12% of its electricity from wind and solar. So even with a quadrupling in the last decade, it's not nearly enough. We need to have an exponential growth curve in how we're progressing through this. But I mean, there's like a lot of things that need to change. Like as a society, as a culture, we need, people need to be okay with wind farms near their neighborhoods, or with like sustainable policy and getting involved with the communities and forming like sustainable areas and cities that are walkable and bikeable. Or like we talk about this all the time in the States, and we're in Detroit, so we rely on cars for everything. But like having reasonable public transport, whether it be like trains or buses, or sustainable neighborhoods where you don't need to drive everywhere, everything's like within 15-minute walk or something along those lines, which is becoming more popular. But you have to like get people out of this suburban lifestyle. Obviously, getting people to be comfortable with investing in electric cars or whatever, whether it be hydrogen or whatever, as time goes on, and having the infrastructure to support that. When you develop like new housing, making sure it's sustainable, or looking at renovating former use buildings, because that's obviously more efficient. And then just overall, like even if you want to like look at, because we see a lot of people talk about like oil and gas, especially like on the right, in like a capitalist form of view, even if you want to look at like current energy through a capitalist lens and say, okay, we rely a lot on the oil and gas industry in the South in the United States, which is like, yeah, that's true. But like as a means to counteract like that we shouldn't move to renewables. But I just like imagine that they came out with the car and someone was like, yeah, we shouldn't build these anymore because we're going to put people out of work for that sell horses. Like that's just such a like a nonsensical thing. Like you want to be a leader in energy, like from a capitalist point of view, you want to be the leader in energy so you can sell everyone else energy, and then obviously you're going to make money that way from that point of view. And then obviously from like maybe a more collectivist socialist from point of view, obviously like I just want a more sustainable environment so that everyone has a higher quality of life. But I won't get like too much into it. I just kind of wanted to share the progress that we have made in renewables, and hopefully we can make considerable progress, as I think the goal is to be have a considerable amount of our energy by 2035 be renewable. I think the goal is probably over half or more. So obviously that's a big push, and with the current political climate, with Congress always in gridlock and things like that. But um, things can change quickly. So I mean, we think about how much things have changed in like our youth, even in the past 15, 20 years. So we'll see. But that's what I got.
But I mean, I
Um,
think people gotta
yeah,
realize that like it's a marathon, not a sprint. Especially like with this, obviously we need to take quick action. The emphasis on taking quick action, so we're not procrastinating, because if we don't take quick action, the effects could be drastic. But I think it all starts with people just changing their mindsets and being open to better and safer options that are out there. I mean, because at the end of the day, it's going to affect not only us, like ourselves, but like everyone around us. So I think we all got to keep that in mind. Just remember that when it comes to being open to using renewable resources, that we got to remember that we got to think not only about now, but we got to think about the future too. And I think too many times on today's, people are just thinking about right now how it affects them, and not how it will affect like our future generations as well.
yeah. I feel like throughout like human history, we've done like a terrible job in general of looking at history and correcting actions, making corrective actions so it won't happen again. Um, like there's still people on this earth that think that like nothing that we do to the environment really affects it, right? Even if scientists or whatever say it is. So it's just about majority rules type thing. Getting some of these people that are in power that's pretty old out of power, and it's just being like our generation is being more controlled on everything going on. Because you just gotta listen to science at the end of the day. But yeah, people jumping on board with stuff like that, and then I'll probably just segue into like my article, if that's all right. Just because Drake kind of touched on it a little bit. So I don't know if a lot of people know. I'm not going to say where I work, but I am a financial manager for a vehicle company. I'm really into vehicles and all that stuff. So my article was about a local nonprofit in New York, Friends of Rogers, that celebrate Earth Day in style. So basically, they're having like a car show, but it's all EV vehicles from 4 to 7 at Rogers Environmental Education Center that they have in New York, which is pretty cool because the Environmental Education Center is pretty cool. I was reading that stuff up about that. But for that day, Earth Day, they are having one of those events with EV. I just want to talk a little bit about EV cars as well, just because it does help the environment to a certain extent. And I will talk about the other ways as well. So basically, one thing I wanted to point out was statistically, they talk about how like EVs building EVs. Hold on, give me 1 second. They talk about how EVs produce zero tailpipe emissions, right? They don't produce exhaust fumes in general. In China, they have seen since the production of EVs in their country, it has reduced fossil fuel and EV emissions. I mean, regular emissions for the footprint about 20%, and everybody's not driving cars yet, so that's pretty good. Um, but the way that EVs work, so I don't know if a lot of people know how it works. They just say it's like electrical, right? So Toyota in general started the Prius for like '09, I think, somewhere around there. So basically, how EVs work is a lithium ion battery, right? It's been around, like the technology's been around for a while. It's just now getting to where it's like mass produced. So Toyota was like the pioneer with Prius, okay? Like they had hybrid batteries. These batteries have a manufacturer's warranty for 8 years, 100,000 miles. All of them now, all these batteries in vehicles, so they last about 8 years. I don't know how long people typically keep cars, but I know I don't keep cars for that long. So they're very reliable components in that vehicle for the manufacturer to give you a free warranty for 8 years, 100,000. But basically, with the EVs, um, now that they're all becoming electrical, the carbon footprint is about 2 to 3 times lower than 2 years ago for EV batteries when they are being built. I know that's like the red flags that all the energy taken to create these batteries is harming the environment as well. Obviously, just with technology getting better and better, they're becoming more efficient with that. Now, my one thing about EVs, it does help the environment, obviously, just because you're not polluting the world with car emissions. But from an economic standpoint and infrastructure, I don't feel like infrastructure is all the way there yet. So I think hybrid vehicles are the way to go right now. They're a lot easier to get. So if you can grab you a hybrid vehicle, I would suggest doing it just because of how high gas prices is right now. It helps you all a lot. The cars are actually a little bit faster too. Um, but and then on top of that, the down effects of like electric vehicles, I would say, would be. I think I think that the down effects would just be that right now with where technology is, you can't really gas them up. You gotta wait like 30 minutes, 30 minutes to like on the fastest charge for a Tesla or something like that right now. Um, and housing infrastructure, like if you got a house from 1995, is done. Like you got to pay like 10 grand to get your electrical systems fixed, all that stuff as well. So that's also a drawback that we're dealing with now. But we are making the right steps, just because I think COVID was like a perfect storm for EV vehicles, just because you can't get vehicles right now. And then gas prices going up too from when it was so down. So like right now is a perfect step with what Biden's doing, which I don't always agree with Biden. But they do give you like tax credits and stuff like that. Electric vehicles are the future though. So I would highly suggest trying to see if you're getting a new vehicle now. What's the availability on them? And seeing if that fits into what you're doing, because it does help the earth a lot. So that's really all I had.
Yeah, I know I saw that I think Canada, like in 2030, you can't buy, there won't be the sale of new gas vehicles or something along those lines. You can still
Mm-mm.
like sell like used gas vehicles, but or maybe it might be 2035. I might have the time I messed up, but essentially like setting obviously like a waypoint, like yeah, we're letting you all know, all the, I guess, car companies, that you need to start shifting yourself to this benchmark, which I think is like, I think you're giving people a good amount of lead time. You're not saying that they have to get rid of their cars, just like new cars have to be electric, but you can still like buy used cars or whatever. And then obviously you're giving the companies like a decade of headway. And yeah, I think it's obviously a good idea. And especially in America, I mean, most people have two cars in their household. Obviously, if you don't, like, you don't have as much flexibility. So obviously a hybrid is probably better. Or maybe you can manage a plug-in hybrid, which is even more efficient if you can find somewhere to plug in, like if your apartment complex has something like that. But like if you're in like a two-car household, like if you can have like maybe one gas car and like the other one electric. And I know at this point, like they can't make electric cars fast enough. Like they're, as
Mm-mm.
soon as they're getting built, they're going out the door, and it's actually like driving up the cost of them, which is unfortunate because a lot of people that are in lower income levels can't afford to obviously get an electric car, which end of the day could be more efficient for them if if most of their commutes are local, and they could just, if they have the infrastructure to drive it or charge at home and they don't have to pay for gas, like that lowers their expenses. So obviously, hopefully we get some more accessibility there. But I think all really good points.
Yeah, yeah. With the higher in class being able to get electric vehicles, that's pretty much how everything starts out for the most part in the economy.
Mm.
Like actual consumers, just it's just privilege for real. But at some point, like just with like Tesla, like making vehicles worth, I mean, fully electric Tesla vehicles, right, $30,000, right? I know it didn't work out as well as they wanted it to because I know there's some drawbacks with it. But like just making stuff affordable, right? Tesla really holds the market for that. It's also right semiconductor shortage. That's the biggest thing that's happening right now. So it's kind of stalling the whole process. But yeah, like you can see that like any vehicle that I see that's electric, like a Mach E or something like that, it's gone within 24 hours. Like it's ridiculous how fast those vehicles go. So I think that's the real reason why I think that it's going to be the future, just because how fast they going now. They didn't used to be like this like a year or two ago. So it's cool to see.
That's dope. Though, that was the real insightful article. I know, like when I was commuting to work before I started working at home, like I was starting to see more and more Teslas on the road. So I feel like people are really buying into just that switch from electrical cars from your regular gas fuel cars. So nah, that was really dope though. But I guess that leaves me. So for my article, I mean, it wasn't. I won't say it. It was more alarming than a feel good story. But my article was basically about food waste and just how much food we are wasting, and like the impacts that is having on the world. So in America, we roughly waste about 40% of our food. That is not good. So that could be like just perfectly intact food. That could be just the food that you can barely finish. But um, we waste about 40% of our food on is estimated 125 to 160 billion pounds of food that goes to waste every year, and much of it is perfectly edible and nutritious. Food loss. Food can be lost or wasted in a variety of reasons, whether it be bad weather, processing problems, overproduction, and unstable markets, which cause food loss long before they arrive at the grocery store. So I want to talk about two things: food waste and food loss are two totally different things. I know people could probably get them lumped together, but they are different. So food losses, I would guess, is in a bigger category, and food loss incorporates like any edible food that goes uneaten before any stage. In addition to the foods that are uneaten at homes and stores, this includes crops that are left in the fields, foods that spoils in transportation to the stores, and all foods that don't make it to the stores. So food loss in simple terms is just this is the bigger category of what food waste is, and food waste is a specific piece of food loss. So it's defined as food discarded by retailers due to the color or appearance, and plate waste by consumers. It also includes the half-eaten meals left on a plate at restaurants, food scraps, and then preparing for meals at home as well. Next, I'm going to dive into food loss at farms because that's a big problem too. Food production in the U.S. Uses about 15.7 of its total energy budget on food production. So that's a good chunk of just how much our total energy budget is used just to produce our food and get it to the homes and things like that. 50% of all land and 50% of all land and 80% of all fresh water is consumed through food production. Yet 20 billion pounds of produce is lost on farms every year. Um, this can be due to higher demand for food, in regards to produce. Usually, what happens is when more people are willing to buy the product, farmers have to thus produce more. So that leads to, in turn, more waste when people aren't actually buying these products. I know COVID-19, it caused farmers to lose a major portion of their business to restaurant and school closures because obviously everybody wasn't able to eat within the restaurants and at schools because we were all, at home and everything. But then next, I want to talk about food waste in households and restaurants. I know all you can eat buffets are, as we all, I feel like now that we have grown up, we have found out that an all you can eat buffets are pretty wasteful. Like Golden Corrals. What was the one buffet we went to, Dabs, when for football that one time in Ohio?
I don't. Was it Old Country
Old
Buffet?
Country, yeah.
No,
The
it
buffet is
was
like,
Golden Corral.
yeah, Golden Corral, and it was a Golden Corral and Old Country Buffet. But those,
Old Country Buffet.
yeah,
Yeah, I remember Old Country.
those in particular, they could be extremely wasteful, and due to like health code restrictions, they can't they those foods can't be reused or donated, so like they end up getting thrown in the trash at the end of the day. Um, Food spoilage. About 2/3 of the food waste at home is due to just food just sitting around and people just not eating it. Um, Data label confusion. I think people get it confused between sell by, best used by, and expires by. In reality, sell by and use by dates, they are not federally regulated and only serve as a manufacturer suggestion for like peak quality. So this is just like when it's going to be like at its best. So they can kind of be like misleading. And then overbuying, sales on unusual products and promotions that encourage impulse and bulk food purchases at retail stores often lead consumers to purchase items that do not fit their regular meal plans. So like in terms of just like the environmental impacts of what food waste and its impact on the earth is, only 5% of our food is composted in the U.S., and as a result, um, the uneaten food is the single largest component of municipal solid waste. In landfills, food gradually breaks down to form methane, which is a greenhouse gas that's up to 86 times more powerful than carbon dioxide. Um, According to a report by in the UK, if food was removed from the UK landfills, the greenhouse gas abatement will be equivalent to removing 1/5 of all cars in the UK. So that stat alone is staggering. Consumer food waste also has serious implications for energy use. A study was done by a group called McKinsey that have found on average an average household food losses are responsible for 8 times the energy waste of farm food losses due to the energy used along the food supply chain. Um, and in addition, food waste is responsible for more than 25% of the fresh water consumption in the United States each year, and is among the leading cause of fresh water pollution. So, like, for me, this wasn't more of a, I guess, a feel good story. It was more of a just to just have like the stats and show the numbers of how bad food waste, not only in the U.S. but you see in the U.K. How bad it is worldwide. So just a few ways to reduce food waste. I would say shop small. One of the stats I said, I guess this it's been an increase on demand in shopping in bulk. You got your stores like Costco and Sam's Club, where you're really getting more than what you actually need, and most of the times it ends up just going to waste. I mean, in some instances we are using it, but in a lot it's just getting thrown away. Like I said earlier, like in America, 40% of our food that we buy is wasted. So I mean, like it's not like we are necessarily using it, but just shopping. I would say shopping small. Making sure we're taking our leftovers home. from our restaurants. We're not just, I mean, even if it's, I guess if it's not tasting good, you can't necessarily take it home. But I mean, like it doesn't hurt to take your leftovers home. Make sure we're preserving our food, and then we're also using up our leftovers. So I mean, to cut it, to now just to end it, I think uh, obviously we have a major problem with food waste. Like I said, this was a more of like a feel good story, but it was just kind of like just sharing just how alarming that we as humans waste. And I think uh, our thinking has to change when it comes to food waste and not taking it for granted. And I think we got a long way to go, but I think that we can adapt and we can learn. So that's pretty much all I got in regards to that.
No, I think that's really good because and like all the it's applicable to all these. Like you talked about food waste, and there's individual responsibility involved in food waste, and there's individual responsibility in how much you drive and how much, I guess, you like fossil fuels you use, or there's individual responsibility and whether or not you choose to be
Recycling and stuff.
involved in your local politics. Yeah. So like I understand that there's individual responsibility, but I don't want us to like lose sight, or the listener to make us think that we're like saying like they're responsible for what's going on. Like
Yeah,
obviously, like big corporations, the military industrial complex are huge contributors to this, but we also can't just like throw our hands up and be like, oh well, they're going to do it anyway. Like we need to obviously be a catalyst in driving that change, whether it be, when it's EVs. If we all start, showing that we want to adopt this, then Ford has to move, Toyota, they have to move. And it comes to like food waste. Like if we start being more conscious in our food waste, then the companies from the start of the process that are losing all this product are going to have to say, okay, how can we reduce these wasted costs? Well, now I have to figure out how I can't waste product and waste food, because now they aren't going to waste it and buy in bulk at the other end. So I think there's obviously a lot of nuance to this, but I definitely think it's good to like point out. And obviously, I mean, food is like a huge one, because obviously there's a lot of people that don't have access to good quality food, clean
hmm
water, and we have huge distribution problems in the world. It's not even like the amount, but then that stat about the landfill like food creating more greenhouse gases than the cars, that's insane. I did not
yeah.
know
I was
that
like,
at
what?
all.
Yeah, but it's crazy. I think it's all like you said. It's all about like yeah, like it's on us, but like these corporations have to move too. So it's all about a mindset thing. I think that's been like the common theme with
Mm-hmm.
all three that we've all kind of alluded to in all three of these in these articles that we looked up. So
So talking about that Tay, a little bit, like my mom, she works for a homeless shelter. So I do see people like doing their part because like it's like restaurants that can like every day that like give food to this place like at the end of the day like gives it during lunch like they try their hardest not to waste food. Um, and most like restaurants in the local area that's not like a franchise or anything like that big corp, like they're small like family owned restaurants that my mom talk about, like they even like whenever they like have extra food, it's not even like whenever they have extra food, like some of the stuff doesn't get old, so it's like might as well give it to the homeless shelters and stuff like that. Like even when my mom, when I was like younger, like we weren't the best, we wasn't in the best situation, like she'd bring home food from restaurants like that, so like small people doing their parts every day really matters to people. So that's pretty good to hear.
Yeah, and we know how like big like small businesses are involved in feeding people. I mean, most restaurants are small business owners, stuff like that. Because you look at, I mean, I don't know how many times a year I look on Twitter and see a video of like a Whole Foods throwing out like perfectly good product into the garbage because it's past the shelfing date,
yeah,
but it's still
to
very good
sell
food, and they don't want
by
to give it to the homeless,
yeah.
which is obviously ridiculous. And we see this type of waste all throughout our society. But I think like I don't know, something like food, it's just like food, housing, and like those are like food, housing, and water. Like those three basic things, like to waste those types of things and to, I guess, gatekeep them or throw them out so that like people of need can't have access to them because you don't want to like lose the value is
It's a wild concept.
villainous
Yeah,
activity.
yeah. Wild concept.
Shit, crazy.
All right, well, everyone, go do something on Earth Day. Pick up
Save the
some
earth.
trash on your walk or something like that. I'm not asking you to save. Yeah, not
Just
asking you to
save
do it.
the
It's
earth.
like Captain Planet. They all five of them put their rings together to form Captain Planet. It's not about doing it all on your own. We got to do it together. So
Together.
it's important, but we'll move past the Earth Day, and we're gonna move into we're gonna talk about polluting the Earth because we're gonna go bust out the legislature and talk about the Fast and Furious franchise
Man.
and rank the Fast and Furious movies. So how much they was polluting the Earth, we should probably rank them all bottom, but they was enjoyable. Some less, some more or less than others.
Yeah. We're gonna probably get
So
into that.
we gonna bust out the legislature for sure. So just give me 1 second here, and I'm gonna pull it up for us.
I can't believe.
Where should we go? Should we start? Should we start at 1 or should we start at 9?
Nah, then we usually start at 1, so I think we should probably start at with the worst.
Okay, yeah, let's start
Because
with
we
the
usually
worst.
start at 1, so I think we just start with the worst. I don't. I feel like we all gonna agree what the worst is, but who knows? Maybe we might have
Probably
a straggler to disagree.
Okay. All right. Anyone want to kick off number 9?
I already know what I'm gonna say. I already know what I'm gonna say. At number 9, we have Fast 9. This movie right here was probably one of the worst in terms of just like, I don't even know. It's an experience. I'll say this: Fast 9 is an experience, and it's not an enjoyable one. Like, it's not like, oh man, you walk away in the movie you really just looking like, wow, they really just did that. Like, it's fake. All of that going into it. But it's just like, wow, even though I know it's not real, they really decided to put that in the movie. Like, if you haven't seen this movie, it is truly an experience. And I like I said before, it's not an enjoyable one.
It is honestly one of the worst movies I have ever seen. It is so bad.
It's so bad. Like, it's no words. It's no words.
Dog, why was Dom was dead ass? Dom was Captain America and Tim's, bro. And Tim's in a white beater,
Captain
bro.
America with
They
Tim's
was
and
wilding.
family and a cross chain and a white beater. How many times Letty gonna get caught on the car and not have no injury after?
Dog. It is so wild. And it's so funny because you can tell, we'll probably get into this, but you can tell how they just were really pulling some of the shit out of their ass sometimes.
Right.
You could tell some of them, because they did some prequels and you could tell it was a little planned, but them bringing Han back and F9 was clearly just like they pulled that out of their ass.
Bro.
And I'd say the only redeeming factor was the fact that they brought like the Tokyo Drift guys back for like 10-15 minutes. Like, that was the only redeeming factor.
Bro, low key, I thought they was gonna have like a bigger role. Like, they was gonna be like in the last mission, they was gonna be with them, but like they helped out and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, bro, I'm gonna be okay. So like the way they explained it, it's some BS. Like, I ain't gonna lie, it's some BS. Like, for sure. Like the Han storyline, like But like the way they explain it, I get it. But at this point now in the next movie, I'm waiting on them to bring Giselle back. Because apparently Mr. Nobody's God. Like, he can bring anybody back.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I'm just waiting on them to bring Giselle back at this point. Might as well.
Dabs, is F9 last for you too?
Absolutely. After I seen Buddy with the Hellcat and like somehow like off a wooden post, pivot that bitch. I was, bro. I text because little do you guys know, like I watched that movie because my girl loves the Fast and Furious movie. So I went to the movies and saw Fast and Furious 9. I was in my seat, like ready to get up,
Dog, I
like out
remember
my
the
seat.
text. I
I was
remember the
texting.
text.
This the only movie I ever in my life text during the movie. First of all, because it was like, when did Fast 9 come out? In
It came out
20,
like
was it COVID time?
2021 because it just released the HB. No,
I think it was right after COVID started like
Yeah,
clearing
so
up.
like it
Yeah.
wasn't nobody in the movie for real. Like it was just me and like I was texting the group chat like, y'all do not see this movie. Like it is the worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life, production wise, everything. It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. And
dog,
like when Tay saying like go see it as an experience, he mean it. Like you gotta watch it as an
it's an
experience because I
experience
can't
on
believe it.
HBO,
Like
y'all.
got past the cuts. Like I can't believe it got past the cuts. I still don't know how they was like.
I wonder if they
It's,
made money.
Bro,
I'm
they
about to look
broke
up if they made
records.
money
Dre, they
because
they
broke
did.
records.
they had to do they had to use so much CGI in that movie
They
too because
broke
of the insane
records.
shit
It
that they
was
were
crazy.
doing.
They broke another record.
It's
I'm
like
like,
the
they be going stupid in Asia.
bro.
They be
It's
going crazy.
bro. I be thinking.
Crazy.
I think it's a parody. Like I really thought I
Wow.
was
So
watching a parody.
the budget was around 200 million and the box office according to this Google, front page of Google was 720
Come
million.
on, bro.
So they made 520
They gonna
million
make 10
gross.
more. They gonna make 10 more because of that. They gonna make 10 more,
That's
bro.
foul.
We was supposed to be, bro. We was supposed to been done after Paul Walker. You know, rest in peace, Paul Walker. Hey man, we was supposed to been done after that. After that you said they made 700 million. That's they almost made $1 billion during a pandemic off of. Come on, man. Come on, bro. We was supposed to been done with these
Come
movies.
on,
We
man.
gonna get 10
Come
more,
on.
bro. 700 million. Come on, bro. I would look.
I can't even like think of the thing is I like love like Vin Diesel and like Riddick and stuff like that, and I can't even separate him from Fast and Furious. Like Paul Walker, I'm trying to think of when in the series Brian wasn't the main character anymore. Now that I think about it, because towards the back half it was definitely Dom, but I'm trying to figure out towards the middle like where it changed.
I think they was like equal.
I'm thinking.
Cause like 4 and
Yeah, I think
5,
that was like more like equal.
I think 4 and 5, like they was both like 4, they was like 4, they was like they separate ways. I don't think they had seen each other in like a couple years, like maybe like 5 or so years.
Yeah.
They ain't seen each other, and then like 5, we all know they was on a run together. They was like kind of sharing like time and
9
like who was the main character.
9 was mad annoying too because they kept throughout the whole movie making sure that we knew that Brian was
Was
still
alive.
alive because Paul Walker was
He
dead
was
in
still
real life.
alive,
Obviously,
bro.
like they kept making references to Brian, like just making it very obvious to us, the audience, that Brian in this world is still alive. I'm like, I get it. Like, you don't need to keep telling me. Like,
We know he's
they kept
alive.
saying Brian.
Like, bro, we know he's alive, bro. I'm like, come on, man. Y'all don't gotta keep doing this, bro. But I would just say this. Maybe it's a spoiler, but if you ain't, like I said, if you need to go see the movie for the experience, it's one scene, right, where they like in the jungle and Tyrese is on a run. Roman Pierce in the movie. He was getting chased by by an army militia, right? He was cornered in a cave, surrounded, completely surrounded. They start shooting at him, surrounding him. They don't
Dog,
hit
that
him.
shit was-
They don't hit him at all. He like this. He covering his head and everything. They don't hit him, bro. And he just got holes in his jacket. So it's like the directors know. They know they playing with us. They just trying to be funny at
yeah,
this point.
they were leaning into it.
They were
For
leaning to
sure.
it. I'm like, bro, it's no way. Like, y'all couldn't have wrote something better to like get him out of, and I think he turned around and killed everybody. Bro,
everybody.
wanted,
I was like confused. I was really confused. I was like, did someone save him?
No
I
help.
didn't understand
No
the scene
help.
at first. I was like, bro, he got shot. Like he got shot. I saw that with my eyes.
I was
right?
bro. I was literally waiting for him to like after he had shot everybody. I was literally waiting for him to be like, you know, like when somebody gets shot after they adrenaline gone and they like fall and stuff. I was literally waiting on that to happen and it didn't. And I kid you not, I was about to turn the movie off because I'm like, it's no way. He was surrounded by like 14 militia. He was surrounded by 14. Like I was,
But he had a
like,
Deadpool moment. Like, I
I'm
don't
like,
know how it's about.
what is going on? I was so confused. I was so mad. I was like, bro, I will turn this movie off right now.
I was waiting for him to pull off some armor, some insane armor or something like that, like to make it make sense in my head. And it just never, I never got closure.
He was like in some regular clothes, and they just had holes in them.
Fast and Furious 9 really made, bro. That shit made me believe because I text y'all. I said they can beat the Avengers. Like,
they can beat them with the power of family. They can beat them in cars.
They could, bro. They could. There's no doubt in my mind.
They throwing cars into people, bro.
Like,
I was like, yeah, Captain America don't got nothing.
Like if you, and we'll probably talk about it as we get up this like ladder. We probably shouldn't stay too long, but like if you look at how they match up, like Dom is beating Captain America. Letty is beating Black Widow.
Yes.
Tez is somehow going to outsmart Iron Man or Tony Stark or Ludacris, however you know him. Roman is gonna luck himself into killing the Hulk somehow. Like it's just wild.
Turn him back to Bruce Banner. Like
the Rock, he's probably just gonna
kill Hawkeye. His raps.
Like it's just. I got the Fast and Furious crew. I'm sorry, they beating the Avengers. They beating them.
Oh yeah, and so spoiler. This one was about if you didn't see it, if you care about spoiling, I guess skip a minute ahead. This one was about Dom's brother, who is John Cena, and they want him to like capture these satellite codes to like own all the satellites or something like that. And it like talks about like Dom's backstory and how he went to jail and shit like that, and that his brother killed his dad and stuff. I
will say this because like we had like in the beginning, like we had always like heard and known that Dom had like went to prison, but like we didn't know, and it was for like assaulting the I guess the dude that was that had killed his dad in the race, but like we had never seen like how it went down. So I mean, like I will say like I guess that was a good part. Like that was like I guess a close in the chapter that had been for like many years. It had just been out there, like, but we didn't have like no closure or anything. But that part in the movie, I was like, okay, now it kind of makes sense and everything. But I mean, it was just like you said, it's just like they were just throwing stuff out there, just like throw it out, bro. I couldn't believe that that was true cinema. I couldn't believe it. Couldn't.
Babs, you know what your number 8 is?
Oh yeah, it's Fast and Furious 7. Fast and Furious 7. So the reason for this, and I'm gonna keep it short, dog. That whole scene where Buddy was building the building in that car.
Oh,
it's the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. Dog.
So this was the last one that Brian was in for.
Yeah.
I believe,
last one that Paul Walker was in.
Bro, I was watching that shit and I was just like, it was another point where I was just like, how did they just say this is okay?
We just gonna put this in. How about you jump from 2 buildings?
For those that don't, this is the one where Jason Statham comes back because of what they did to his brother, and he's like hunting them all down, trying to kill them.
This is like his first actual appearance. Like he was he was at the end of Fast.
Yeah,
but this is like his actual first appearance in.
Yeah, he's essentially trying to hunt them down to kill them for what they did to his brother. But at the same time, this is the one where
It's like him, and then it's another
What was their
villain.
goal this
No,
one?
okay, so this was like
Oh,
this was when Cypher, the mixed girl with the curly hair, she come into play because she got like I guess like the she
Right,
knows the
because the
code,
God's
the
Eye. They
God's
wanted the
eye. They
God's
wanted the
Eye.
God's eye, and she knew the code to get in it. So I mean, like it's always some crazy software that they got to get. If they don't, then all the world is.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what the last couple movies been. But yeah, they was trying to get the God's eye. Um, but yeah, okay, all right, yeah, that was crazy.
This is I found out I didn't know until Furious 7 too that Letty's name was Letitia either.
Oh, you talking about her real?
Um
In the movie?
yeah, her real name is Letitia, and then also this one featured Ronda Rousey and T-Pain
T-Pain was in
in
it?
that same car jumping scene. They were in the party. They were at the party. T-Pain was the DJ and Ronda Rousey was fighting Letty.
Wow. I did not. I did all the times I seen that movie on FX. I ain't never know peep that was T Pain. Oh yeah, and
Um
going back to Fast Nine. We ain't talk about one thing. Cardi B had no reason being in that movie. I love Cardi B, but that ain't.
I forgot about that. I
She
forgot
had.
about
It was like they could have gave her a better role or something, bro. She was. Bro. And the crazy thing is, bro.
That
Okay,
was
so
so random.
it was so random, bro. When they arrested Dom, it was God voices, and then when she took the helmet off, it was her. I'm like, hold on, what we doing? They could have gave her a better role than that, bro. I ain't saying she shouldn't have been in it, but that what they gave, it made no sense. But back to our number 8. I just had to make that side comment. But that that was wild. That was wild. Yeah.
um And The Rock, for some reason, kept like calling girls. She kept saying like "woman" in this one. It was so weird.
Yeah.
It was so. I don't know why he kept doing it in this movie. He was like, "I do what I want, woman."
I
I'm
am the
like, bro.
Calvary.
he kept
I am the
saying
Calvary woman.
He did it like multiple times, and then they
Right,
like did
Dwayne.
like the parachuting cars, bro.
He's like, okay, Dwayne. Yeah,
Yeah, this one
bro.
was wild. All right, my number 7 is
Oh, 8,
actually
you on 8.
Fast and Furious. So I think this is, or yeah, number 8 is Fast and Furious, which is actually
The first
the
one?
4th movie, I believe.
Oh, the 4. Oh.
No, the first one is the Fast and the Furious. The 4th one is
Oh.
Fast and Furious.
Okay. Why is that why that 8?
So this is the one when they. So this is a prequel, or no,
No,
not a
that's not the
prequel.
prequel.
This is one. No, this isn't a prequel. This isn't a prequel. Sorry, we're not to the prequels yet. 5, I think, is one that starts being prequel. This is the one where they broke Dom out of.
No.
No,
4,
Dom is living in another country because of. Dom is living in like Mexico or whatever because he can't come to the United
yeah.
States because of the stuff they did in the first 2 movies. So he like left the country
Yeah.
and Letty was doing some secret work for Brian. Brian was working for the FBI, and then Letty was doing side work for Brian in order to try and free Dom or like get his like stuff cleared so he could come back to the country. And then Letty ended up dying. So, and honestly, just like after like the 3rd movie, I was just looking for pure entertainment value in these because I kind of like knew what they were, and this one just wasn't doing it for me. And it was just this one had the scene where they were driving through the mountain, and they were driving through this damn mountain for like 5 minutes, and you can see the mountain range. It's not that long. Like you can see both ends. And they were going like 70, 80 miles an hour through this like mountain tunnels and stuff like that. It wasn't like pitch black.
I'm trying to think. I think
they were driving whole ass cars through because they like had to drive across this because the border control had helicopters like flying around,
and they had to
so they had to drive these cars across the desert. Yeah, and they only had so long to like get in there, and then they're like driving and chasing each other through, and then they kind of just like wanted to kill this guy that killed Letty. Like that was the whole point of it, which was like fine. It just wasn't super memorable to me.
Yeah, that movie. I mean, I guess that movie kind of set up all the rest of the movies. But yeah, I can get what you're saying. It ain't as memorable, but it kind of set up, I guess, where we at now.
Yeah.
Bruh. Okay. So for me, man, I mean, that was a good point because I hadn't really the Fast and the Furious. I hadn't really. Nah, I can't do that. I'm gonna go with Fast. I'm gonna go with Fast 8 just for this. It might be in order for me, bro. I'm gonna go with the Fate of the Furious. The Fate of the Furious 8. Just off the sheer fact that was it was it the Rock that caught that warhead and then threw it into it was like on the ice at the end. He caught the warhead and then he like threw it into a tank. Bro, it was somebody did something
So
crazy.
the Fate of the Furious was for sure crazy. So I had this one like ranked a little bit higher, and we'll like see it pop up. But and the only reason I have it higher is because like of the pure entertainment value, because it was wild. The Rock and Jason Statham were funny as hell on this one. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie. Them like because this is the one where they was beefing
yeah,
and they
yeah,
was in the jail cells and it was like he's like I will beat your ass right now,
yeah.
and then they were just like mad beefing that whole time. Um, what else happened in this one, bro? This one
Bro,
was
this
wild.
is when
So this
Charlize
was the
Theron
one
got
where
introduced.
Oh, yeah. So Dom, because when Letty was dead, Dom started dating Elena, and then Elena got pregnant
Yeah,
and had a kid with him, and then Charlize was using the kid against Dom to get him to fight against his team and shit like
yeah,
that.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, this one was wild, bro. This
I'm a,
this the one where Tyrese was sliding on the
bro. That
Lamborghini
yes,
door. He was
yes,
sliding on
bro.
the Lamborghini door, and
He
then
was sliding on.
they were chasing him with the snowmobiles. Dog, he went full like Captain America mode. Like
Bro,
he's
I'm
like,
getting mad
I'm
talking about
tired of this shit, and he takes the Lamborghini door, and there's like three snowmobiles driving at him. He knocks the one guy off of it with the snowmobile, and then just like pulls out his like nine, like bops three of them real quick, and like works them.
bro. Captain Tyrese,
I like Fast 8, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
bro.
I'm gonna
I
disagree
would,
with you,
bro.
K.
I couldn't get past. And then at the end, I think what was when they protected Dom with the cars from the bomb.
Yeah, that was wild.
That shit was fake as
On
hell.
They
ice
came
too.
out of
On
nowhere.
ice too. They just
They
stopped.
came out of nowhere.
The fire just
Protect
flew
them
over
with
him and shit.
the. I'm like, bro, what? I would say, bro, that last scene alone, bro. It's just the dramatics for me in the last two movies, bro. Because I get it, like you want like that attraction. You want people to be like people. They come in there for the explosions and stuff like that. Explosions and fast cars. So I get it, but it's just like some of that stuff, bro. It's just like I can't, bro. I get like that last like that like Tyrese doing like that crazy stuff really be killing
That
me, bro.
was
So I would say the Fate of the Furious is 8, bro, for me.
Bro, I think they got to the point where they just parody in it, like making
I think they the
basically
dude
just like,
I think the
how
director don't care.
crazy can we get?
I think that's what he doing, bro. They went to space in Fast 9. So I mean, I think it's parody at this point. They need to just make it MCU so this can be believable. But
yeah. And then at the end, I like this one because it was mostly like just like a few redeeming things that bumped it up my ranks. Is because The Rock and Jason Statham were funny. The Tyrese shit was funny, like him being like cold for some reason. And
yeah.
then Jason Statham at the end where he's rescuing the baby and he's like fighting all the guys on the plane with the baby in his hand and everything like that. That was looking kind of funny. It was kind of cute. I'm not gonna lie. But I'll do number 7. And number 7, I got Fast 5.
Wow.
I like Fast 5.
Fast 5.
Why?
So Fast 5 is when they break. Honestly, mostly because it wasn't super memorable. So this is the one when they break Dom out of jail. So this is after Fast 4. And it was mostly because it wasn't super memorable out of me. Besides these niggas driving 2 Hellcats, dragging a fucking 20-ton bank vault behind them through the fucking city, bro.
Bro, that was honestly out of all the shit that's crazy.
That was cold.
That's the most that's the most memorable and the
that's
most
what started it all, though.
Realistic. I know it's hard for me to say.
That's what started these like huge stunts that they do was just dragging a bank like 20 miles through a city at high speeds, and tearing up properties and police cars on the way. Like I was like, wow. I was like, wow, this is crazy. Yeah, but
bro, you got that shit so low. This is when they first got
bro.
When Buddy was, where's they in Costa Rica or something? Where was they at? They was at
They was in Brazil.
It was some Central American.
They was in Brazil.
And the scene where Buddy was like with The Rock and he was like, "This is Brazil." Like that shit was sweet. That shit was Brazil. Like I was in the movie theater like, fuck yeah.
He ain't in America no more. Yeah. That was
you ain't in America.
That was hard.
No
I ain't gonna lie. That was hard. I'm like Fast 5. That low? Ooh, I don't know about that. I like Fast 5.
Yeah, you wild for that. You wild for that one.
Yeah. You go, Dabs.
Go ahead, Tim.
Man, you know I this is probably going to be very unpopular, and I'm sorry, but I gotta shake something up here. I'm gonna go with 7. I'm gonna go with the Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. I'm gonna go with that.
No way.
Get out of here.
Oh
get out.
My
I'm gonna go with that, bro.
God.
I'm sorry. I told y'all I was gonna shake it up. I think I have only.
Are you
watched
shaking
that
it up
movie.
just to shake it up? Or like
No. This is truly how I feel. I think I have truly watched that movie like once or twice in its full form. It won't doing it for me. What the kids say, it wasn't given. It wasn't given for me. It wasn't, bro. It wasn't given for me. But the thing I like, they had the Dom cameo at the end. They raced at the end. I think Buddy probably lost either way, but I can say I've only watched that movie in its full like maybe 2 or 3 times, and I just like it just wasn't given for me. I'm sorry, y'all. I know this is very unpopular. I know this is gonna be very unpopular, but it just wasn't given for me.
All right, I'm sorry, but I gotta lay into you real quick. You tripping? That movie was one of the coldest movies. It was one of the coldest movies. It might be one of my top 10 movies ever. Truly,
I love Fast and Furious, bro.
Yeah.
It might be
like Tokyo Drift in particular. I mean,
bro, that movie was fire.
Like just like drifting, like it was at that age too, where like drifting was just so cool. It was just so cool,
you had, like,
and like the
Need for
nostalgia
Speed,
value
you had
of
Burnout,
like that.
You had all these video games. Yep.
I rewatched that one. I mean, I rewatched all these except for I think 1 and 2 because I mean I see 1 and 2 on cable all the time, to be honest. But I watched Tokyo Drift last, and they were just like drifting unnecessarily, and it was just so entertaining though. Like they're like racing through the city, and like why are you drifting? Just turn. But it's just like it works. It was giving to me. I love that, and just like culturally, obviously like Japan, like he like drift you like I forget what the name of the square with like all like the 1,000 people, and they just like part like the Red Sea, and he just comes in like Drift King as the antagonist. Like I don't know, I love
the ending was fire too, bro. Like, I remember watching it as a kid. I'm like, oh shit, there go Dom. Like all that shit, just I can never forget. Like that shit was
like I said. It's I know it's gonna be unpopular, but I just like Dre, like Dre, when you were saying like Fast 5 wasn't like that memorable for you, like that. I mean, I might have to watch this again, like recent, but it wasn't as memorable to me. Like it wasn't, bro.
I think it's just 7 is wild to me because some of the stuff you're having to put in front of it for it to be 7 is nasty to me.
That's wild, bro. Wasn't Bow Wow in it? Bow Wow wasn't it?
Yeah, Bow Wow was in it.
Bow
I'm saying
Wow
just
was in
like
that was his
too.
first.
I'm saying like
yeah.
I'm saying just like on just remembering it, bro. I was just because I didn't. The first time I watched Tokyo Drift, like I was like a little bit older. I didn't watch it like when it first came out, but like I had watched it like when I think the other, well, like I think we were pretty much at like at Fast 7 at this point. So like I had watched it like when then. So like pretty much like Dom and everybody
Yeah,
was
you
pretty
don't got
much.
the nostalgia
I don't got
value.
the nostalgia factor,
You
so
ain't
it
getting
ain't
the
really hit.
nostalgia
It's
bump
not
then.
hitting me as hard as like it hit y'all because y'all probably watched it when like y'all was kids. So like it really like when I watched it for the first time, like it ain't really like I was like, all right, like this kind of just seemed like it like to me it felt like it could be in like an alternate universe. I know it was like in the same, but like I was like, all right, well it's just like kind of filler movie. But I'm sorry, y'all, it just won't give it for me.
Even the main character was like, I like the main character. Even in
Really?
the
Sean,
beginning.
I was mad he didn't get more screen time, like in the
Yeah.
new other movies. I'm mad they didn't bring him back. But Dabs, go ahead and give you a 7.
I'm going to go with Fast and Furious. Fast and Furious 6.
5, 6.
I felt like it was very pointless.
Yeah, yeah.
This was the
Everything.
one with the long ass plane scene at the
But
end.
Giselle,
Yeah, bro.
rest
It
in
was
peace
just
of
pointless.
Giselle.
The whole thing.
No, no, no. I like 5, 6. You said it was pointless.
Bro, I hated that Letty came back and like shot. That's the one where Letty
Bro, he
came
ate
back,
that
shot
bullet.
Dom with
He
no
ate it.
hesitation,
He
and
ate
ate
that
that bitch,
bullet.
bro. Like
She said, I'm like,
I
it's like she
realized, like
slapped
it was
him.
so worthless.
And then he took it, bro. Bro took it out with some pliers.
Yeah, Fast 6 is actually my 6. That plane scene at the end was like, bro, they was on that runway for 20 minutes, bro, flying that fucking plane. That's honestly, like, in terms of physics, that I think might be the most
Bro,
unrealistic thing that
that
they did in the
runway
series
was
because
so
that plane is
long.
cooking at 150 for 20 minutes. This one was cold because they had them ramp cars, bro, and they was
Yeah.
driving through London in them with the ramp cars with what's Shaw's brother's name? I forget
Decker.
his name. And the old girl.
Well,
Yeah,
not
yeah, I think
not
so. Yeah, yeah.
Decker. I think is
That's his last
yeah.
name,
Shaw.
right?
Shaw. I think
No,
Deckard is
Decker is
what's the man? Ball. What's his name? It wasn't. He wasn't the villain in 5, 6. Deckard is the older
right.
brother.
I forget. Yeah, I forget the other Shaw's name.
Yeah, I do.
But
Yeah.
anyway, those ramp cars that those scenes was kind of hard when they was. But it's so funny, like because this is when I think The Rock first came in, or no, he came in at five. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
But The Rock is always driving around with them, and they got these fast ass cars, right? And The Rock got
That
this
big
big
truck.
ass like 10,000-pound truck, and he's keeping up with everybody in this bitch. Just
Like, bro, what you got under
taking
there?
all the turns and everything.
What you got
I'm
under there?
like,
He's like,
dog, this
I'm gonna take a
man.
shortcut. Crashes through a building. Who paying for that? Who paying for that? Yeah, bro. 6 for me. I'm gonna go fast. I'm gonna go 5, 7. 5, 7. I'm gonna go 5, 7. Because Dom basically collapsed a garage, a parking garage with his own foot.
That man, the street always wins. The street
always
always
wins.
wins, and you stop.
Okay, Captain America.
Dog, what?
The street always wins. Bink.
He was fighting, bro. And why is he an expert combatant, bro? Like Jason Statham was this SAS like Black Ops operator,
Dom
and
was washing him.
he was like, "You gonna fight? You go?" Because they had a reference earlier because they drove their cars into each other at like 70 miles an hour, and then they both just step out the
Perfectly
car
fine.
ready to throw hands or
Perfectly
whatever. And he was like, "You reinforced your car," and like Dom goes to like fight him, and then Jason Statham pulls out a gun. He was like, "You thought this was gonna be a fair fight?
Yeah.
Like this, not how this works." Yeah. And then at the end, when Dom has the upper hand, he throws Jason Statham like a weapon or whatever, and like says like it's gonna be a fair fight or whatever. And he's sitting there like throwing hands with this Black Ops special forces expert killer. It's just wild.
Dom is beating Captain America. I just want y'all to know that right now. He better than Captain America.
I'm going with Ride or Die. I think it's the fourth one, right? You already said it.
Fast and Furious?
Fast and Furious.
Yeah, I'm going with that one just because it wasn't that memorable for me.
All right, you know your fifth?
Yeah. My fifth one is going to be Fast 8 because I like the whole thing about, and the top 5 thing is like the good ones, I think. 8 was a good one, even though the bullshit was happening. Like, I like the plot line. Like, I like the fact that they had to fight Dom. Like, that was pretty cool to switch it up like that. So that was cool. I like that one.
My fifth is actually Furious 7. What was Furious 7? I'd be forgetting that. Yeah, this the one when they was jumping the cars. This is the one when they was jumping the cars through the buildings, bro.
Yep.
It was just purely like it's fifth because it was absolutely like insane, but in an entertaining way. Yeah, jumping the cars, fighting Ronda Rousey. T-Pain is for some reason making a cameo, and yeah, and obviously Jason Statham is always fun to watch him punch some people in the face. So,
right. So, all right, I want to make a change. Make a change. Make a slight adjustment. Put Fast and Furious at 6 and Furious 7 at 5. Furious 7
you want Furious 7 at 5.
Yeah. Because I just had that at 6.
Fast and Furious at 6.
Because no way Fast and Furious is top. I don't think that's top 5. Put that in the. Yeah, and then put Fast and Furious at 6.
All right.
Yeah, and I mean, although that for 5, although Dom did cave that parking garage in, I liked it. It was all right. I like the whole, like when they was trying to get away from the God's Eye and like they was swapping cars. I thought that was cold. And then like when the God's Eye was about to get him, and like the Rock came and crashed through the bridge of the ambulance. With an ambulance, and like he like collided with the
out of nowhere, bro. And then he
collided with the
picked
drone.
up the drone or whatever, and
he picked up the drone gun and started shooting. I'm like, bro, who is this? Who is this? Yeah, bro. So I would,
dog. It was that one black actor that is always typecast into playing some like arms dealer. I forget his name. Yes, he's always the same character in movies for the most part, except for like Blood Diamond.
Yeah,
and how are these motherfuckers just flying through LA in a helicopter, fucking shooting rockets and shit at these niggas, bro? And then, where's the National Guard at, bro?
Like, come on, bro. But I think I did
remember.
I remember the end part, like they was close to the end of the fight. They was like, the National Guard on the way. We gotta go. He was like, no, we staying. So I'm like, they was on the way, but they could have been there sooner. They was on the way.
Slow ass response.
They in LA. So you should be in LA by now.
That could have been Russia wreaking havoc.
Right, bro. All right. So we got. So you got Fate of the Furious. You said you like Fate of the Furious.
Yep, we're at number 4. I have Fate of the Furious as my 4th.
Bro, where y'all? Hold on. Go scroll down real quick. Go back up. I'm just waiting for this. Go Tay.
4 for me. 4 for me. 4 for me. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with Fast and Furious 6. I like Fast and Furious 6.
Bro, the one where they caught Letty with the car.
What you mean when she lost?
Is that the one when he jumped across the when Tyrese was getting chased by the tank, and then Dom jumps across the bridge and like catches her? Is that Fast and Furious 6?
That's it. Because I see him jumping out, like I see it. Like
Let me see. I got like notes here. Yeah, this is when he jumps across the. They had the tank, and
Like he
yeah,
like
he
ricochet
jumps across
himself, like the force
the
of
bridge to catch
crashing
her.
into the thing. He caught her. Yeah, I forget.
Bro, you like the? I'm just questioning.
Dog, I actually just thought about. Sorry, go back to F9. But when Dom drives the Hellcat or whatever and hits the little rope and wraps it around the tire to swing the car around the fucking corner to get away from the helicopter that's shooting at them, bro.
There was a wooden post.
They just latched onto the wheel and they swung across and the car didn't explode against a mountain, like not explode. It just crashed into it. Crazy. Nah, but like for Fast and Furious,
the helicopters was like, yeah.
But they was past the border, so they couldn't do nothing. Because then it would be like a international incident. But it was already an international incident because they got called in from the FBI. The FBI guy saved them, but yeah, it would just probably escalated more. But no, I mean before that whole Letty got caught in, in the midair with Dom, just I like the story about I liked it because like they had a chance to go back home and it was like this. It kind of seemed like it was like one last mission for them to do before they I guess hung it up. But like they obviously they wasn't gonna hang it up. But it was just kind of like, all right, we got this one chance to go home. All right, let's do it. Because if we if we don't, then we're probably gonna all get caught. Because I mean, like he found Dom, like he was tracking Dom and them, but he was just kind of like just letting them slide because they weren't doing nothing illegal. But I mean, I like this movie. I like the action in it. Like Dre was saying, like the cars was cold. Like the little ramp cars was cold. Still that tarmac scene, that had to have been the longest tarmac in history because that was just crazy. But yeah, I like Fast and Furious 6.
They all had their own little like nemesis in Fast and Furious 6. Like Hobbs had to fight the big Russian dude, then Letty fought the one girl, and then Dom fought obviously
Shaw.
Who was Dom fighting at the
end? Fighting Shaw.
He wasn't. Was he fighting Shaw?
Yeah, he was fighting Shaw. He was fighting the big dude and Shaw. And then they switched, and then the Rock started fighting the big dude, and then Shaw, and then him.
What I also realized through this, besides the fact that they never go to a gas station, is how the fuck does Dom's sister so good at driving? Like she be practicing too. Like I don't ever be seeing her put in no work, and she broke him out of jail. Like she pulled up like when they broke him out of jail, she like pulled up like in front of the bus and swerved that bitch and did a 180, then switched it into a verse and was like driving backwards and shit, bro. I'm like, bro,
she been learning.
I ain't ever seen.
She been observing
like this before.
She like Shang-Chi. She like the sister on Shang-Chi. She just was observing, training on her own.
All right, Dabs, what you got for 4?
Dabs?
But I feel like I'm missing one. Like I feel like I'm missing one.
So just so we know the options, there's the Fast and the Furious. That's the first one. Too Fast, Too Furious. Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, Fast and the Furious, which is 5. Or no, which is 4. Fast 5, which is 5. Fast and Furious 6, Furious 7, The Fate, number 8 of the Furious, and then F9. So currently you've used The Fate of the Furious, the 4th one, Fast and the Furious. So you haven't used 5, 1, 2, or 3.
Oh, okay, there it is. Okay. I'm gonna do the second movie, Too Fast and Too Furious.
The one with just Tyrese and Paul Walker.
Yeah, that was.
You don't like that one?
I didn't like that one.
You don't like that one?
I love that one. I love that one. It's funny.
Tyrese is so funny to me, bro. Tyrese is so funny, bro.
Ejecto, cuz.
Ejectocito, cuz, bro. That shit is hilarious, bro.
It's not that I don't like it. It's the fact that, like, I love Monica. I do love Monica. I'm not going to lie.
Monica.
I love Monica and All About the Benjamins. And I love Monica in that as a kid. I'm
They
sorry.
really had Ja Rule in this bitch. They was really doing cameos. We talked about
Low key.
Genius like a couple weeks ago, the Kanye documentary, and how like Ludacris was in there. Like, how did Ludacris decide to get into acting? And it's so funny because we know him as this like Atlanta like southern rapper, but he's so put together in Fast and Furious. It's just so funny. And I think
Yeah.
I forgot to mention it in like Fast and Furious. I don't know if it was 6 or 7 or maybe it was 8. I don't know. It was one of them that Cypher was in it, and or not Cypher. Cypher the is Cypher the black
See
girl
the
that
big
was in
girl.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Missandei.
um, yeah. There was one of those like later in the movies when she was in it. Like he gets approached by like 2 guards and he just like pulls out some moves on them and like
Yeah.
whoops their ass. I'm like, bro, where is this coming from?
Yeah, bro. He was doing it
But
in
I'm
Fast
surprised to
9.
see this one solo. I love Too Fast and Too Furious, bro.
Yeah. I love yeah. All right, so we in the top 3
What do you
now.
got for 3, Tay? Yeah, what do you got for 3, Tay?
Man. I think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with the first one. First one's 3 because that kind of jump started everything. I mean,
The first one?
yeah, the first one, top 3.
Tay, I do not like your list, bro. And I'm trying to be nice about
I
it,
mean,
but
it's
I
top
really
3.
don't like it.
It's top 3.
I really don't like it, dog. I don't know what you about to say for these last 2.
So I'll say I'll just get this on the air right now. I got the first one is my third too.
I mean, the first one good. It's not. I'm not saying it's not good, but like, cause that kind of jump started everything. Cause everybody was like, when they gonna go back to just racing cars? I'm like, bro, they always have been doing heists. The heist.
That was never the MO.
They always did heists. The heists have just gotten larger and larger with each movie. They've always done them. Like everybody, like, when they gonna go back to racing? The racing was a cover up so they can get the money to make their cars go faster. That was it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, Fast and Furious was good. I mean, it started everything. So yeah, that's 3 for me.
I got 5. We talked about 5 enough, but that 5 movie when Dwayne came, bro, and like the whole Dwayne versus The Rock, and not The Rock versus Vin Diesel, dog, that shit was fire.
This is Brazil.
And the heist scene with the bank was fire. Yeah, this is Brazil. Like that shit was fire. To me,
That was
bro.
cold.
Yeah,
That was
I was
cold.
like,
I'm not gonna lie.
ooh, I got chills down my spine. I'm like, ooh, he can't do nothing now. He like,
I was like,
let's get
oh
out of
yeah,
here.
this is it. This is
Another
it.
day. This is Brazil.
So yep, 5.
It's so funny because this man Dom just kept wearing
The
Tim's jeans
white tee.
and wife beaters,
White tee or the tank top. It's either
whatever you
white
wanna
tee
call
or
it,
tank top. He got
And
2 shirts.
But he
it
ain't
looked
say
like he
wife beater.
progressively like obviously he got older, but it just looked like he was like progressively drinking more and more beer as the shows went on. Because like he like when he was young, obviously Vin Diesel was muscular, but he almost like kind of like fat muscle now. Like you know what I'm saying? Like and like he's still rocking these tank tops. Shit. All right, I'll send my second up. My second one is Tokyo Drift. I will say, obviously, that exposes my first as being Too Fast and Too Furious. I will say that Tokyo Drift was my number 1, like yesterday, and then I thought about how funny Tyrese is to me and just
Bro,
his
Tyrese was
character, and then I pretty much
hilarious.
bumped it up to 1 because of that.
He
Like
was
the
hilarious, bro.
Ejectocito, the like when they caught them slipping, he was like, "Hey, Poppy, what's up?" And then the one scene where they did like all the cars drove out, bro, and they like ran off. They had the trucks drive over the police officers and everything. Like, yeah, bro, that shit was hard. And Eva Mendes was in that bitch with the little like mob boss and everything.
Yes.
That one was fire. It was hard for me to move Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift down, but I think it made sense after I thought about it.
All that the all car scene with the police was so cold. That was cold. I forgot about that scene. That scene was cold.
All the cars, yeah, bro. That was goated. Goated.
Just can't be the slowest one. You just can't be the slowest.
I'm going with Tokyo Drift for my second one. And that exposes my first one, which is the first movie. The first movie OG.
First
I'm
movie.
sorry, y'all.
You so
I don't
typical.
care what y'all talking about. That shit was about racing cars,
Bro, it's a
and it was a
heist,
heist in
dog.
it.
Oh my.
But it was to make their car faster to race cars.
No,
That's what it was
no, it
for.
was not, bro. The heist
It
was the
was to
real job. They
yes,
started the movie with the heist, bro.
that was the job, bro. Listen, though, listen. The whole every scene was about racing for the most part, though. That's what we talking about. Where we need to get back to. You
No,
feel me?
no, no,
The most
no.
memorable parts was street racing. Was it not the most memorable parts? Was the street racing and the first Fast
How
and
many
Furious
street
movies?
races they
But
do?
they weren't ever doing like they weren't like for the most part in that movie. They weren't doing many street
Yeah, I'm
races,
like they
like
weren't
because they
really.
kick off the second movie. They kicked off the second movie with an actual street race when Tez was out there and Brian pulled up the car and with Ja Rule and all that. Like that was an actual street race. But the first one, the only racing I can really remember was when the little white boy lost his car and pinks to the Asian guy that they were doing the work for or whatever like that, and then he ended up smoking him for it. Like that's the main race that I remember, like actual
In the
race that
beginning,
I can remember.
in the
It
beginning
was
with
like
Paul.
partway through.
You talking about when
It was like
you talking about
partway through
when
the
Paul and
movie.
Vin Diesel raced?
No, 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 no,
No, no, I'm
no.
talking about Dabs. That's what
Vin
Dabs
Diesel
talking
had his
about.
little mechanic. Oh yeah, Vin Diesel had his little mechanic
Yeah,
guy,
I
and he
remember
had this
that.
little white. I forget the car, and he tells him like, "Bro, don't race him for pinks. Like he's gonna take your
Yeah,
shit." And then he didn't listen, and like he had the black S2000. The Asian guy took it, and he drove off, and then he ended up
yeah,
smoking him
yeah, yeah.
for
I
it.
know. Yeah,
Bro, dude, I got these. No, the races I'm talking about is when like we first met Paul Walker,
yeah. And the fact
and he was
That was
shit.
Too Fast, Too Furious.
That was
with Tyrese,
Monica with
Monica,
Ja
yeah,
Rule. That was Too
that was
Fast,
literally
Too
like the only
Furious.
at
racing.
night.
But like they won't race. He was
Yes,
racing to get intel.
yes.
Damn.
That's
That's
Too
too fast,
Fast,
too
Too
furious.
Furious. When he jumps the car over the bridge and
When
everything
he
like
had the
that.
nitro.
That's too
Yes.
fast, too furious.
Hey,
He jumps
bro.
over the back of a. He jumps over Sucre because Sucre's like, I won, and then he jumps over him. Or no, not Sucre. What's his name from? What's the black guy's name from? I forget his name, but you know what I'm talking about. He had like the gold bronzer car. Yeah, bro, that's Too Fast, Too
Yeah, that's
Furious.
when they racing. Like, but he was racing to get intel and then
But
faster cars
the
too.
first movie. So question. So when they was telling him like he got a 10 speed and all that shit like they was telling Brian like he got a 10 speed like he got him a car and shit. That was just for the heist, right? That was for the heist. Or was that for racing?
Pride.
I
Why
think
did
he just.
because Brian got into the group by racing. It wasn't by a heist. Like he
Well, he was a
He
eventually
was a
cop.
cop.
He
yeah, he
was a
was a cop,
cop.
so he just got in on the race
He
scene.
was a cop because
And
they had. I
then
think.
Yeah, so he like went. Oh, they did race because he's like, I almost had
Yeah,
you, and he was like, almost only
yeah,
counts.
yeah.
Yeah, I
yeah,
They
remember. Yeah,
raced.
yeah,
that's what I'm
yeah,
talking
yeah.
They
about,
raced
bro.
in the beginning. He lost. Yeah, but
Then they race
Because
over the
that's how he.
track.
That is how he kind of like infiltrated the group to like show them that he can
Yeah, they
drive
was
and
yeah.
shit
racing.
like that.
Yeah, yeah.
But I feel like the scene you're thinking of is still Too Fast, Too Furious.
Because they definitely did
Yeah,
more.
I got that shit wrong. I got that shit
They
wrong as
definitely
hell.
did. I think they did more racing, actually, like racing and Too Fast, Too Furious.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I'm,
I guess for two is Fast Five. I love Fast Five. I like the action and everything. Like we talked about, like them dragging that safe throughout Brazil and everything. I thought that was fire when I first seen it. I thought it was wild, but I thought that was fire. Them bringing the Rock in, that was crazy. Um, yeah, and then like that was like kind of like the first time where we seen like the main group, kind of like all together that like do the height, like that does the heist like further in the next movies and everything. So Fast Five is two for me, and that Too Fast Too Furious, that's one for me. Too Fast Too Furious is a classic. It's hilarious. Paul Walker like, don't worry about it, cuz. that one that one scene, bro. Yeah, that's a classic to me. Whenever that movie on, I always tune in and watch it. But yeah, for me, Too Fast and Furious, that's number one.
All right, so we'll run through how our rankings panned out composite wise. Obviously, at the bottom, we got F9. Terrible
Ooh,
movie. One
tomato,
of the worst
tomato.
movies ever released in
Ooh.
theaters. At number 8, we have Fast and Furious. So the fourth installment of the
Really?
series where Letty is killed. Yeah, I mean, I have it 8 and you guys have it 6.
Oh yeah,
So yeah, no one had it in their top half. And then next up, Furious 7 is number 7. Furious 7 was Jason Statham's vengeance arc. Then we have number 6 is so we have a tie for 5 and 6 between Fast and Furious 6 and The Fate of the Furious. So I'll say they're tied for 5th. I don't know. Or I'll move it up to 5th. So Fast and Furious 6 and Fate of the Furious are both tied for 5th.
Wow.
Then number 4, we have Fast 5. I didn't even have that in my top 5, but you guys had it pretty high.
That's right. Numbers.
I'm messing with
number
Fast
3, we have Tokyo Drift.
I blame Tay for why that shit is 3. God damn, Tay.
I think even if Tay had it high, though, it probably would have ended up being 3.
It's top 3.
Or it would have been close.
It would have been 2 or 3.
It would have been close because Dabs, me and you have it number 2. So depending on if where Tay had it higher, it could have made it up to 2. But it couldn't have gotten a whole lot better.
They did it. Man.
It's top 3, bro.
Number 2, we got The Fast and the Furious, and then number 1, we got Too Fast, Too Furious.
Yes, sir. I think that
Fast and the Furious before that.
Bro, Too Fast, Too Furious is funny, bro. It is
hilarious. It's genuinely funny. I think that about rounds it up.
I like doing these movie ones. These movie ones are fun.
Yeah. Good all around.
Yeah,
good all
that's
around.
the legislature for this week.
What's our next
let us
one?
know
I know we got
the best movie. We have a couple kind of, in the bank. I would like to do another movie one, but when we do the movie ones, I like to actually go back and watch the movie, so then they end up taking me like a week or 2 to actually prepare for it.
We can do Harry Potter at some point.
Yeah, Harry Potter. I really want to do Pirates of the Caribbean because I need a reason to rewatch them.
Bro, I watched some bitches during COVID, dog. The movies good. The movies are good. Like all of them.
I mean, the cast in them is insane too. We could do like there's so many movie series. You could do the Lord of the Rings movies. There's a lot we can do, and obviously we don't have to have all our legislature episodes on movies, so we'll pull something out. These are like some of my favorite ones. To close out this week, I know a few weeks ago we started talking about that we're gonna start reading some comics. So we actually started reading some comics, and we started off with some Moon Knight. So obviously Moon Knight's the first episode of the Disney universe. Oh, there's 2 episodes now?
It's dropped today. It's Wednesday, right? Yeah, it's Wednesday.
Okay. Because I watched the episode. I watched it last night, so
they drop at like 4 a.m. So like,
I'll probably go watch it tonight.
They drop like really early in the morning.
I gotta watch the one.
So we started off with Moon Knight from the Dead. This is Warren Ellis's run in 2014, and we just read issues 1 through 6 to start. I didn't realize this is what was recommended to me by other people, but there was more issues to the series, so I don't know if we'll continue this one or move to the other one that I had recommended to me. I think this is what was recommended to me was the best way to learn the character. But I guess what were your initial thoughts, most of us having our Moon Knight knowledge being just what we heard leading up to the show, probably, or maybe something in passing, like through history or something like that. But I don't know, maybe reading the comic or watching the show or both. Uh, Go ahead and kick us off, Dabs, if you want to.
Um, so now I learned like some Marvel comics and some DC comics, right? What they do is they take one character and do like the opposite of him or something like. This is the opposite of Batman for sure. And I was confirmed with it because when when I read most of it, like they made it a clear point that he basically is vengeance for people that gets like attacked at night, like some type of crime at night. That's who he attacks. So he doesn't just come out at night, right? It's it's he that's his whole point is that he wants to stop people that come and do crimes at night. But he's in all white, and they're like throughout the comic, they're like, why are you in all white? That would make it worse for crime fighting, right? You're not like in the shadows. He's like, that's the fucking point. And he beats the shit out of people. He's like, I want to see me coming. Like, I want to be in
It's
all
me.
white,
It's
which
me.
is really cool. And another
You're not
thing was,
dreaming.
I,
Yep.
yeah, like it's so funny. Like it's so funny just because it's like I know they just making the joke of Batman to a certain extent. So that's what made it funny. And then like his other persona of him being Mr. Knight and the police officer, he's like working with a police officer like Batman, which is funny as hell too. So it's just like, yeah, like that. That's why I liked it. It was just funny because it was like making fun of Batman for real. So
Tay?
Yeah, man. I enjoyed it. I know we had like a certain set that we were supposed to read, but I read more and I was just like, yo, like, well, like, because I always think of this like superheroes. They always like take like that high moral ground, and that can kind of be like their downfall. And why a lot of people might be like turned off towards the superhero because like they have this. I guess this they feel like they have this moral obligation to take like the high road, and like that's not necessarily like the case with Moon Knight. Like he's like by any means, he's like Dabs was saying, like he like lives off of vengeance. So like if vengeance upon others. So like if you're doing wrong by somebody else, like he's going to seek vengeance for them. He's not taking like that moral high ground. He's doing the right thing, but he isn't like it's not like he will kill you. Like no, let it be known like he will kill you regardless. He will kill you unless you kill. He will kill you if you kill hostages. He's not taking you in. He'll kill you if you're not taking in hostages. If you negotiate with, he will kill you. It's all to put an end to the threat. And usually, most of the times, you see like superheroes, they they take the bad guy away. He's in jail, and then the next week or so time done pass by, he back out into the streets again. And I don't know, like we've only dived in a little bit into Moon Knight. So I don't know if he has like a big bad or a main who's like a recurring villain for him. But just in the issues I read so far, like he's pretty much watched every villain that he's faced that we read. He's pretty much watched them and handled them with like ease. Might be like a little bit opposition, but it's not like he's just like, oh, he's struggling. It's just like he kind of thinking through what it is that he should do, and then he is going about that thought process and what the solution that he's come up with. So as far as just like us, I wouldn't call him a superhero. I'll call him like an anti-hero. But like he's still in that hero. He's still in that hero universe to where he's openly working with the police, but he doesn't have that moral high ground like a superhero. Like he'll do whatever it takes to get the job done. That's what I like about him.
Yeah, I think that I think we should definitely just like finish this run. I just kind of want to read this run and then read the next one too. So we started with the Warren Ellis run. I think there's 17 issues in that one. And then I heard the Jeff Lemire one is like 14 issues is pretty good. So I'm looking forward to like finishing those. Because I want to get more into the personality traits, like because when I first heard that he like had multiple personalities, I didn't like truly understand, like, and I think that the show did started to do a good job, and hopefully we'll see more of like what they mean by that. Because when I first heard he had like multiple personalities, like, oh, I thought he was like, I don't want to say mood swings or bipolar. I don't think I was like being like pegging it that low, but he was like clearly like snapping into like completely different human beings. And I said like he has his like like crime fighting persona and his like cape and hood, and then he has like Mr. Knight, and obviously there's other ones that I haven't been exposed to in the comics, and obviously we saw Steven in the show. So yeah, I mean, I feel like he's everything that I want Batman to be, because obviously Batman hater fan club, whatever. Like he's everything that I'd like want Batman to be. Like, I'm not letting y'all get away with this. I'm not going to do this again next week. Like, that's probably why he doesn't have many recurring villains that we've heard of, because they aren't going to have another day with him. So, and then obviously we only saw it at the end, and I don't know if they'll show us. I'm assuming that the episode that just released, we will see more. His suit is hard. His suit is hard. His suit is cold. So I'm curious. And the only other question that I kind of had is because obviously he had his abilities imbued to him by gods, but because how I understand it is that the personality that initially was imbued with the power was his, I guess, like mercenary personality, which is why he's such a good fighter. But I'm curious, like, how these other personalities ended up working their way into the character. Like, is it because this god had been interacted with other people as well, and then when he connected to him, he like took on those personalities as a result? I'm curious like how that ended up happening, because like when we watched the show, there's Steven, and then there's
Mark Spector. It's Steven and Mark Spector.
Mark Spector.
In the comic.
Yeah. So it's like, how did
in the comic we just see is like Mr. Grant and Mr. Knight. So I think he's Mr. Grant, like his human I think he's Mr. Grant in his human form, and then like he's Mr. Knight in like his fighting form, or he could because like he has his couple appointments where he goes to the doctor. So I think he has that form. He has that too. So I don't know if that could be like Mark Spector, or that could be Steve. That's not Steven. It could either be Mark Spector or Mr. Grant or another person. But we just see Mr. Grant and Mr. Knight in the first few issues that we read so far.
Yeah. So I'm interested to see like if he like how they. I think it helps having a show to visualize things in a live action point of view sometimes if they do it well. So to see like how that personality, because in the end of the first episode you see him, he's like, bro, let me take control. Like, you need me. Like, we need to get out of this. But then too, like, he's a human, but he got brought back to life. So I'm trying to understand his power level. That's what I also don't understand yet, is his power level.
That's crazy. So I think, so when I was reading the comic, which could be going into the show too, like they saying because he like it's messing his brain up. Like his brain can't handle it, is what they said in the comics. I don't know if that's like causing him to do different personalities, like of people he think he is. Because like they was like in the comics, you can see like he was like whoever was talking to him in the comics was like, you think it was a black lady in the comics. Do y'all remember that?
It says doctor.
Yeah.
And he's like, you think you're Spider-Man, you think you're Wolverine, like you think you're this, and all the faces that was in that picture. Yeah, Captain America. It was like all these people, and like you could see Spider-Man, Wolverine, and like I don't know what that meant. But, like, I don't think it's just past people that the guy's been into. Like, I think it's his brain. Like, he can't, like, something so that's what I think what it is. But power level, they said he can't die. So.
Yeah, like, obviously he was brought back to life. But I'm curious, because, like, when he's fighting people, he's just, like, I don't know. Because he's not working out, obviously. Like, he's not, like, working out to be super strong and stuff like that. But he is strong, like peak human, like peak physical athlete, obviously, right? And everything like that. But it's not like he has the power of a god, but he's not like Thor, right? So it's like I wonder like how they're gauged, because the god's not letting him die, and he's also kind of controlling him, but he's still. can only inflict, for the most part, like human-ish level damage. Like he's punching you and you're feeling a human punch. He's not like Captain America.
Yeah, I mean, he was. I mean, in the episode, he was punching that werewolf really hard. Or whatever that thing was. He was punching it. He was. He was leaning into them punches too. So I mean,
you gotta have super. I gotta look it up.
I mean, he gotta. I know we were talking about him being like kind of like the anti Batman, but I mean, like, I guess when he fighting humans, maybe he because in the comics he was going crazy. So I ain't gonna say he got limitations. I don't know, because maybe he just hitting them with the same force he hit everybody. Because like in the like he was hitting them hard in the comic.
Yeah, and even in I remember the very first issue of that Warren Ellis run. I was like, oh yeah, he got it. When he was fighting Buddy in the sewer, he was like, what do you mean? I won 2 minutes ago. And he's like, what are you talking about? I was like, oh bro, he's so cold. Got him. And then the one guy was holding the girl hostage or whatever. She was blind, I think, or something like that. He was holding her hostage.
Crazy. I remember that. He was talking crazy.
Yeah, he was talking crazy. He was like, what if I kill her? He's like, if you kill her, there's nothing to stop me from getting to you. I was like, hey, bro.
This is my new favorite hero. I'm like, I ain't never heard Spider-Man say this.
I was like, this
I ain't never heard Batman say this. They used to be like, stop, don't do it. He's like, well, if you kill her, what's gonna stop me from killing you? She's saving you right now.
So his powers is Egyptian, like god powers, basically, but they are influenced by the moon. So depending on what time,
he's stronger at night. Yeah,
he's stronger at night, but it depends on if it's a full moon, half moon, whatever it is. Like that's how powerful he get. He also got like different powers to where like he got the voice of whatever the god is, like voice of No Shoe or whatever. He can like it's got something to do with Wakanda. Like it's a bunch of shit.
We might see him in Wakanda forever.
He can hypnotize people. Yeah, like he like one of his powers is connected to Wakanda, and like he can hypnotize people with his voice. Like he cold.
Or at least a name.
And he can't die. So he up there
in the new Black Panther movie.
I wonder how he's gonna get his money in the show. I don't even know how he got his money in the comics because he's rich.
He get his money from being a mercenary.
But does he still get his money that way? He doesn't anymore, right? Maybe he steals it from the people that he like the criminals that he takes from. Because he got that little bat wing, bro. He pop up out of nowhere with that little bat wing,
bro. He in the Mercedes,
and he got the autonomous Mercedes. Like he has like his own artificial intelligence and everything like that. Like he got a Ponzi scheme or something going on funneling this operation.
I think they were saying he was getting some of his money from his like mercenary day, like from his like a good chunk is from his mercenary days. And I think there's a part of him that's like rich too, like because they say he is the Batman of the Marvel universe, so like he got to be rich in some capacity, where it's just like he getting money somewhere. But we'll see. I definitely want to keep reading. You said 17 issues. I think we for sure gotta finish this issue because it's cold.
I gotta finish that run. Yeah,
bro, he got so many. He got so many personalities, and they all got like different suits, like different Moon Knight suits.
Bro, them suits so
like
cold,
it's crazy.
Bro. Like it's so cold. The one with he got the vest on. He just had like the mask over it, bro, with the tie. Yeah, bro, he got it, bro. He got it.
The night.
And like him having all these personalities like lets them take good things that you like. Because I mean, like Dab said, these comic book characters, they take from other people and they're inspired. Like he's obviously a detective with Mr. Knight, and he takes from obviously like traditional detective Batman in that regard. But then he's also like the nighttime crime fighter, like Cape Crusader, like Batman kind of, but maybe a little more anti-hero-esque, like a Deadpool or I don't know, some other anti-heroes. But then he is like he got the Cali sticks or whatever with the extender on him, bro. Like he's a Daredevil. Like them bitches was cold.
Yeah, bro, he nice. The little moon boomerangs.
Yeah, he got it.
He got it, bro. I was like,
bro. The funny thing was when the detective was like, no, that's Moon Knight. No, that's Mr. Knight. Don't worry about it. That's Mr.
Knight. Right. He was like, don't worry.
That's Mr. Knight. Yeah, they was hip. They knew. They was like, that's Mr. Knight.
He's like, bro, that nigga be flying around in a white cape, bro. We know who that is. He's like, no, you don't.
Shut up.
He was like, he told him, he's like, bro, you're just gonna go down there unprepared. He was like, do you want to go? He's like, you got it, bro. You got it.
You want to go? He's like, I'm more prepared than you.
Then he ended up being Black Spectre. Yeah. Was that the? It was Black Spectre.
He
right?
turned into Black Spectre, the new
the cop. Yeah, the cop turned it.
But it was like it was so stupid because he wanted to be loved and like get the recognition. Like, bro, this man is saving your life.
That shit was deep. That shit was deep. It was kind of talking about masculinity. It was wow. I was like reading this, like, am I reading this right?
Yeah, bro. I was just like, I'm like, dog.
That shit was
I'm
crazy.
like, dog. He's trying to save your life. He like, you unprepared for this. Me, I'm not gonna die. You're gonna die going down there. But yeah, it's good, bro. So we for sure gotta keep. I'm gonna finish it. We'll probably end up talking about it more. I don't know how much we're gonna read, and then within the next episode, when we'll talk about it next. But we'll for sure get reconvene on this for sure.
Yeah, so we'll have to finish this run, and then by time we finish this run, the show will probably have a few more episodes out. We might even have to do another run or something like this because it's fun to like learn about characters that don't get that limelight.
I'm just glad Marvel is like getting to the stage now where they're starting to like. We don't gotta see a Spider-Man movie every 10 years. Like we can see characters like Moon Knight, and we can see like these like. We got Scarlet Witch who about to be starring with Doctor Strange. So like we can see like these really powerful characters that like we, hadn't.
It's really smart, but
no, go ahead.
It's smart because I think what they trying to do is find the next Iron Man, like to build the next phase for. Just because like with these TV shows, they can literally like just see what people like if the TV show fire. Like they can be like, all right, let's make a movie.
I mean, because
like,
a TV show,
the
TV show is.
They need to keep leaning into like the anti-heroes. Oh, sorry.
No, you good. No, go ahead, Dre.
They need to keep leaning into like anti-heroes because I mean, like I think of my favorite things of Marvel, and the first three, like, I mean, Moon Knight already like looked like it's heading that way, but like the other first two is like Punisher and Daredevil. Like Punisher and Daredevil are fire. Like two of the best things that Marvel has created, and I don't know if we're gonna get more of Punisher, but we're obviously gonna get more Daredevil. It seems, yeah. John Berthel was in his bag,
bro.
In
Punisher
his bag. I did it because I liked it. I was like, oh,
hey, bro, that shit was quality. I had to when I watched that shit the first time. I was sitting there like, this is no way this on Netflix. No way Netflix did this. I was just sitting there like, it's no way.
They got to bring John back, bro. They got to bring him back.
They was in a bag.
Got to run it back, bro. They bringing Daredevil back. Got to bring Punisher back. Got to bring Ghost Rider, all of them. Bring them on, bro.
Ghost Rider got to come. Ghost Rider.
Nicolas Cage coming back?
No, fuck that.
They should. Ghost Rider really should be Keanu. He's getting kind of old though, but Keanu is Ghost Rider.
I mean, Kevin said he has something. Kevin did say he has something for Keanu. If he decided to like make movies, he said he did have something. So if that maybe that's alluding to that, but he said he had something for him.
If that bitch is going to sell out. That's going to be one of the best Marvel movies to ever touch the earth.
Kevin did say he
they need to do it now for, I guess. I mean, obviously a lot of these actors act until their older years, but like if you like do like a 10-year run with an actor, obviously you don't want them to be like drastically different physically and like not able to perform the role when they get older and stuff like that. So they need to get on it if they want to do it.
Can you think of anybody else that would do that or would be
that would play Ghost Rider?
Younger.
I mean, they're good at casting people. I'm not gonna lie. Like they can find people. I mean, like I love Oscar Isaac.
Ideal people, yeah.
There's probably an article. Who should play Ghost Rider in MCU? There's probably an article.
They do pretty good with the Google cast.
This one came in March. So let's see. Charlie Hunnam. So the guy who was the main character of Sons of Anarchy. He was also in the gentleman,
they said,
and he's the blonde hair guy.
You know who else they said?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. That's a good
The
casting.
dude from The Walking Dead, with the bow.
Yeah, the crossbow guy. Yeah.
They said him.
Who else? Who is Jensen Ackles? What was he in? The Boy. He was on The Boys. They have a few people from The Boys on here. Someone's
Jensen Ackles. That might be. What was it? Ain't that like the cat? I heard either he's the Deep or he's I guess the Captain America of that universe. But the name's familiar. But I think it's the Captain America of the universe because I don't think he's been on screen yet.
Oh, he is set to make his superhero debut in The Boys season 3.
He's the quote unquote Captain America of that universe. I knew. I was like he either the Deep or the whatever they call him in The Boys.
They gonna get Jared Leto to do it.
No, not Jared, bro.
Bro, I'm gonna get mad. I'm gonna lose it.
If anything, bro, Morbius.
Oh wait, they casted him.
Ghost Rider?
Who?
Yeah,
they would have announced it.
Norman Reedus from The Walking Dead.
Is it legit? I mean,
Norman Reedus has signed to play Ghost Rider.
I keep seeing this Gabriel Luna guy mention that he should play him, and like all these articles. I don't know who this is really though.
I don't know how I feel about him being Ghost Rider.
I think it would be dope. He always be riding on a bike. Yes,
Alex Skarsgård would be bad. I think Charlie Hunnam's probably my favorite one. That.
Yeah, I mean it's
the Jensen Ackles. It's probably I've never seen. I need to see him in something.
It's probably Norman Reedus because he had posted a fan art of him as Ghost Rider like a couple days ago, so it's probably him. But I like that.
Yeah, it's him.
I think the Walking Dead about the end
Marvel
too.
movies.
The Walking Dead about the end, like I guess his version. I think they're doing another spinoff, but I think his version of the Walking Dead is ending. So yeah, he might be about to get into that Marvel bag now. But, yeah, it'll be interesting nonetheless. But they just need to keep diving into these other characters, man, because I think that's a recipe to keep going after instead of just going the same characters.
Well, then you can because then you can also garner, because there's a lot of like comic fans that know these characters like beforehand too, but if you dive into some of them that aren't as popular, then you can, because there's a lot of people that probably read comics but never read Moon Knight, right? They read Spider-Man and Batman all the time and shit like that. So, but we'll wrap it up. I'm about to probably go watch Moon Knight if it is up right now. So everyone, enjoy your week. Enjoy, take care of the earth. Earth Day's coming up. Go do something for your community. And go watch Fast and Furious. Peace.